Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
You're listening to Malaga Radio. It's Carmen and Baptiste with you, and this is your weekly diary.
This one covers the week of April 27th through to May 3rd.
We've been going through everything that's happening across the coast this week, picking out the things that are actually worth your time.
And it's a big one because Fuengirola's International Fair is running across the week, one of the biggest events on the coast.
Yeah, and if you want the full breakdown of that, we've done a separate special episode just on the Feria itself.
It started as a local celebration, and now it's grown into a full international event with dozens of countries represented.
So we'll touch on it here, but this is really about everything else happening around it.
Exactly. Things you can build your week around or just drop into while you're here.
So let's get into it, starting with festivals and traditions this week.
Malaga Radio.
We kept coming back to Fuengirola this week, the international country fairs running from Wednesday through Sunday down at the fairground. It opens from lunchtime and goes right through the evening, so you can dip in whenever.
Recinto Ferial, Fuengirola, and it's a big one this year. Around 30 countries, each with their own space, food, music, the whole thing. Easy to move through in the daytime, a lot busier later on.
It's the kind of place you wander into one section and suddenly you're somewhere completely different. And the parade's Friday morning through the town. That's probably the moment if you want to actually see everything come together.
Friday, late morning, starts in the center and heads toward the fairground. Worth timing if you're around.
But at the same time, we kept spotting things that are completely different. The May Cross festivals are popping up across the coast. Marbella, Nerja, even Malaga City. Just small streets, flowers everywhere, little bars set up around them.
Yeah, those peak around the 1st to the 3rd of May. You'll usually just come across them walking through town, especially in the older areas.
And then inland, Coín's got their spring fair running over the same days. Horses, traditional dress, proper local feria feel. Not the scale of Fuengirola, but completely different atmosphere.
That runs from Thursday through Sunday, mainly around the town center and fairground. More structured than the street festivals, but still easy to drop into for a few hours.
It's funny. You've got the whole world in one place down on the coast, and then 20 minutes inland, it's just Andalucía doing its thing.
That's the choice this week.
All right, just quickly. A few more we've clocked this week.
Vélez Málaga has the historical reenactment running through the old town that's been on across the week.
Frigiliana's doing their honey day on Sunday. That's the one where the factory actually opens, which almost never happens.
And La Cala de Mijas has the Sardine Beach Cookout on Friday. Big outdoor setup right by the sea.
So yeah, loads going on, and we'll come back to a few of those across the week on Freshly Squeezed.
Next, we shift gears a bit. There's quite a lot happening in the city this week as well.
Yeah, if you want something a bit calmer, a bit more cultural, we found a few things worth knowing about.
Malaga Radio.
We ended up spending a bit more time in Malaga City when we were looking through this week. There's quite a lot happening, but it's a completely different pace to everything else.
Yeah, it's not event heavy in the same way, but there are a few things worth knowing if you're around the center.
The one that kept coming up was the book fair. It's set up along the Paseo del Parque, right in the middle of the city, and it runs from Thursday into next week.
Starts the 30th and runs through to the 10th of May. It's basically a long stretch of stalls through the park, all shaded, easy to walk through.
It's nice because it's not something you have to plan. You just walk into it. 1 minute you're by the port, next minute you're in the middle of it.
And it's big this year, over 70 stands. So it's not just a few book tables, it's a proper setup.
It's also one of those things where you don't really need to be into books. It's just a good place to slow things down a bit, especially if you've been out at the fairs or on the coast.
Exactly, it works as a reset.
And then we noticed a couple of exhibitions finishing this weekend as well, which is always a good excuse to go in.
Museo Picasso has the Elena Assens exhibition closing on Sunday. That's more conceptual, very minimal, very structured.
Yeah, it's quite different to what people expect when they go into the Picasso Museum. It's quieter, more about shapes and space than big visual pieces.
Ends on the 3rd of May, so if you're thinking about it, it's this week or not at all.
And just around the corner, the Thyssen Museum's got the Fortuny Drawings exhibition finishing at the same time.
That one's more traditional, sketches, detail work, smaller pieces. You're looking a lot closer at everything.
I like those ones. You end up standing there longer than you think because you start noticing things.
Same deadline as well. Closes Sunday.
So that's two really easy ones to pair together if you're already in the center. You can do both without really planning your day around it.
Exactly. Walkable, central, and done in your own time.
All right, just quickly, a few more we saw while we were going through things.
There's theater running at the Cervantes this week, part of the festival. Shorter run shows, mostly evenings.
The Soho area is worth a walk as well. Not an event, just murals, cafes, that sort of thing.
And a few of the bigger galleries still have ongoing exhibitions if you want something more modern. Pompidou, CAC, that kind of thing.
So yeah, plenty in the city if you want to step out of the busier stuff for a bit.
Next, we get into food, and this week that goes in two very different directions.
Yeah, you've got the international side, and then some very local things we didn't expect to find.
Malaga Radio.
Food this week goes in a few different directions, and one that stood out straight away was actually in Malaga City.
Yeah, that's Latineando, down at Malaga Forum. It's already running and goes through to the 3rd of May.
It's a Latin food festival. Free entry, food trucks, music, all set up in one space.
Evenings during the week, then from midday on the weekend. So Thursday to Sunday, it's quite easy to fit in.
It feels quite straightforward. You go in, try a few things, there's music on, and that's your evening sorted.
Exactly. You don't need to plan around it. Just turn up.
And then Fuengirola comes back into it again, but on a bigger scale.
Same setup, Recinto Ferial, running Wednesday through Sunday. Each country has its own space, and most of them are doing small plates, so you can move around quite easily.
That's the nice part. You're not committing to one place. You just sort of try things as you go.
And it's set up for that. You can go from one stand to another in a few minutes, different styles of food, different music around you as well.
It turns into a bit of a loop. You say, just one more, and then you're somewhere else again.
Best time for that is earlier in the day if you want space. Later on, it's more social, a bit busier.
But then completely different. And this one stood out. Frigiliana on Sunday.
Yeah, the sugarcane honey day. That's on the 3rd of May, right in the village.
It's quite unusual because the factory there, the old one, is normally closed. This is the one day they actually open it.
Guided tours through the building, small groups running through the afternoon, so you can actually see how it's made.
And outside, it's more like a street setup. People cooking, small things to try, everything based around that honey.
It's quite contained as well. You're not walking long distances. It's all centered around the same area.
It feels more like a local day than a big event. You just arrive, walk around, try a few things, and that's it. And then back to the coast, La Cala de Mijas on Friday.
That's the sardine cookout on the beach, 1st of May.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Big grills set up on the sand, loads of sardines, very simple.
Usually starts around lunchtime and runs through the afternoon. Easy one to drop into if you're nearby.
That's one where you don't really overthink it. You just go, eat, and stay as long as you feel like.
So yeah, you've got everything from walking around trying different countries, to standing on a beach with grilled fish, to a small village doing one very specific thing. All right, just quickly, a few more we picked up.
Coín Spring Fair has food running alongside it all weekend. Local produce, simple dishes.
And around the May crosses, you'll see small bars set up next to them. Tapas, drinks, that kind of thing.
There's also smaller food markets popping up in a few towns, usually tied into the holiday weekend.
So yeah, plenty of places where you'll just come across something rather than plan it.
That's the range this week. Next, we move into the evenings a bit more.
Yeah, music, nightlife, and a couple of bigger things happening by the coast this week.
Malaga Radio.
Evenings this week feel quite split. We kept noticing that. You've either got something quite big going on or something much smaller and more tucked away.
Yeah, it depends how much you want to get into it.
So the obvious one again, Fuengirola at night during the fair.
Same place, Recinto Ferial, but it changes quite a bit after dark. Music across all the different stands, people staying longer, more of a social atmosphere.
It's not one stage, which is what I like. You just move around and something's always happening.
Exactly. You don't plan your night there, you just walk it.
And you'll probably stay longer than you expected.
But then, just along the coast, Mare Nostrum in Fuengirola on Saturday night.
Fito and Fittipaldi's 2nd of May, right by the Sohail Castle.
That's a proper one. Outdoor concert, big setup, you know what you're going for.
Starts later evening, ticketed, so that's more of a planned night rather than something you just walk into.
It's a good contrast, actually. Same town, completely different feel to the fair. And then Marbella, this is more the start of the season, really.
Yeah, beach clubs reopening around the 1st of May. Places like Ocean Club, Nikki Beach.
Day into evening kind of thing. You go in the afternoon and suddenly it's night.
Exactly. That's less about one event and more about the atmosphere picking up again.
So that's the bigger side of it. but then we kept finding smaller things as well.
Yeah, if you're staying in Malaga City, there's quite a lot going on.
Sala Paris 15 has a live show midweek.
Machine Head Wednesday night, bigger venue outside the center.
And Sala Trinchera has Avalanche on Thursday.
Smaller room, more intimate, but still a full live setup.
So if you're into live music, there are options beyond the coast. And then something completely different. The Jazz Club in Torremolinos.
Clarence Jazz Club, yeah. Smaller space, seated, proper listening environment.
That's one where you go for the music, not the crowd.
And then the rooftops. We kept coming back to those as well.
Yeah, Malaga Center, late afternoon into evening, nothing scheduled, just views, drinks.
It's a good in-between. Not a full night out, not nothing either. So yeah, you've got big outdoor concerts, fairground nights, beach clubs starting up, and then smaller live venues and quieter spots.
Depends what kind of night you want.
All right, just quickly, a few more we saw this week.
Some of the fair stands have their own live performances running late into the night.
A few bars in the center have live music tied into the long weekend.
And you'll find DJs and smaller sets popping up along the coast as the weather picks up.
So yeah, plenty of options once the sun goes down.
Final one, we'll look at things to do during the day.
Yeah, if you want to get out, move around a bit, or just step away from the crowds for a while, this is where things slow down a bit, or at least spread out.
Malaga Radio.
When we were looking through this part, it felt more like options than events.
Yeah, less go here at this time, more things you can drop into across the day.
But there are still a couple of standout things, starting with the regatta along the coast.
That runs from the 1st through the 3rd of May, starting around Marbella and heading across towards Ceuta and Soto Grande.
It's one of those where you don't necessarily follow the whole thing. You just catch parts of it.
Exactly. You'll see the boats heading out, especially around the ports and marinas.
It's quite a nice one if you're already by the sea. You just look out and it's happening. And then Malaga City, the football.
Malaga CF at La Rosaleda, Sunday evening. That's more of a set time event.
That's a full atmosphere one, even before the match.
Yeah, people are there early. Bars around the stadium builds up over a couple of hours.
It's one of those things you don't really need to be a fan to enjoy. And then we kept coming back to something much quieter, the Botanical Gardens.
La Concepcion, just outside the city, open all week.
That's a complete change of pace. You walk in and it's just quiet.
Best time right now as well. Everything's in bloom, so it's actually worth going this time of year.
It's also quite easy to do. You don't need a full day, just a couple of hours. And then even just in the center, we noticed this as well. The parks.
Yes, Pedro Alonso Gardens, Plaza de la Merced, that sort of thing.
You don't think of them as something to do, but this time of year they kind of are.
Exactly. Especially during the afternoon, it breaks things up a bit.
So yeah, you've got the coast, the stadium, the gardens, and then just space to move around in between everything else.
That's the balance this week.
All right. Just quickly, a few more we picked up.
Unicaya Basketball has a home game midweek in Malaga.
You can also do the stadium tour at La Rosaleda if you're around during the day.
And there are a few guided walks and outdoor routes running, especially just outside the city.
So yeah, plenty of ways to get out for a bit if you need it.
That's pretty much the week.
A lot going on, and we've only really scratched the surface.
Malaga Radio.
That's your weekly diary for this week on the Costa del Sol. Hopefully, you've got a few ideas already starting to take shape.
And if you want to stay on top of things day by day, Freshly Squeezed is live every morning from 8 to 11. We keep it updated with what's happening that day as it comes in.
You can also head over to malagaradio.net. That's where you'll find the events, places, and everything we've been talking about all in one place.
And of course, you can listen live anytime at malagaradio.com or through the app, whether you're planning your day or already out exploring.
We'll be back next week with another weekly diary.
But until then, enjoy the coast.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.